This is the Kopercrabb podcast.
Oh shit. It's Chaney Crabb.
Navene Koperweis here.
Navene, I'm pretty convinced that...
I have a cough button now. You see that?
Yeah, I did.
You don't, though.
We're just amused because we got this super cool podcasting tool, and now Navene can mute our voices. If we cough, he can mute it. So now we're just...
Maybe just give me a nod if you need to cough.
If you got that corona, throw a nod Navene's way.
But yeah, this is pretty cool. New gear day, for real.
And GD.
I've been messing around
NBD.
with this Roadcaster. Should I not have said that? Keep it a secret?
Yeah, we got a secret formula back here. You're letting all the secrets out.
What's
Giving them the
super
goods.
sick, though, is this is going to sound petty, but now I don't have to take my interface out of the studio room and bring it into the podcast room.
That's not petty. It's always been a total pain in the ass to set up the podcast because we use the same mic cables, or we've been using the same mic cables here as Navene uses on his drum kit, because a drum kit, you need a million mics to mic it.
So that's some janky shit right there.
So we stopped being janky and we ordered some cables.
Well, we bit the bullet. We were like 25 episodes deep. Let's go ahead and invest in having a real podcast setup.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of the step it up episode. This is the episode we're on our way to stepping it up. We decided to go ahead and make the leap, and because of quarantine, we're just going to start having guests call in. We got this Roadcaster.
Yeah, that's another thing. So this device is enabling us to have people call in, and you can mix their channel on the fly. So
and it can sound super good, which is what we're all about, is good audio.
Like that crackling sound that
you know,
just
like
happened?
the crackling.
But
that just happened. But
we've always said that we were like, it needs to be in person, right? Only interviews. But that's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, we kind of got the corona pandemic going on.
So
no big deal.
Yeah, so that gives us an excuse to break our commitment to live interviews.
Yeah, so we've actually already got a lot of people lined up.
Yeah,
so
I hope you can't see the whiteboard. Okay,
yeah, I don't think you can see our whiteboard, which has all of the guests that we have for the next week.
We're getting some. We're actually having a bunch of guests now. Because, since we're doing the call-in thing, we said, fuck it, let's just get some people on here.
Totally, and now is kind of a time for all of us to unite on the internet. I mean, the internet is all we have right now to really connect with people and hang out. And so, yeah, we're really looking forward. We've got some super cool people that we're excited about coming on the show. And with that being said, I think we're also going to start releasing 2 episodes a week.
Damn, that's official? You're making that a thing.
Yeah, it's official. We have a lot of people that we want to get on the show, and we also want to do these episodes that are just the 2 of us answering questions and, hanging out.
Right.
So I think for a while at least, we're going to be releasing 2 episodes a week.
Cool with me.
And I think that we're going to start doing that on Monday. So next Monday we'll have an episode out, and then we'll do Wednesdays from there as well.
Dang.
Breaking. You need a breaking.
Oh yeah, there's also we'll get into that later.
Oh yeah, we want it to be a surprise. Navene, I'm pretty convinced. I was just looking outside. So we have this weird thing going on in our backyard where we have a motion sensor light, and the light
if someone's
keeps
sad
going
out
on.
there or mad, it can tell.
Yeah, so
you didn't get that.
If someone's sad.
I have light.
No idea. Oh, emotion light. That was over my head. Okay, good one. That's a good one. Okay, so
this thing
I'm pretty sure
with some stupid stock samples in it. So
I love them. I'm a huge fan of
the
samples. So I think that in our backyard, it's the groundhogs are what are setting off the motion detectors. It's been scaring me because the light keeps coming on. periodically.
Yeah, because when you look out the window and the light's on back there, you're like, who's out there?
Yeah, it scares me. We have a backyard where there's nothing around us except for kind of an open field, so it freaks me out. But
there is lemons. Well,
and I'm a scaredy cat.
So there's lemons across the field, right? It's like an empty field with a hangar or something.
Yeah.
People that never go over there. And then we were like, oh, there's lemons over there. And we were wanting to make some...
Well, a lemon tree. It's not just a pile of lemons. Right?
So Chaney's like, hop the fence and go over there, you know?
We just did this yesterday after 6 months of living in this new place.
Because my mom was like, oh, there's a lemon tree over there. You should hop the fence and go get some lemons.
Yeah.
So I hop the fence. I run across the little field. Anyway, I hop the fence. I run over there, grab the lemons, run back. And then we cut one of the lemons open, and it's like an inch of skin.
Yeah, it was insane.
And then a little thing of lemon with like no juice.
There was no juice. So
it's like a dud
whatsoever.
Dud lemons.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was the thing. I was thinking that's probably what lemons in the wild are like. Just totally crappy.
Maybe, yeah. Well, there's also you only grabbed one lemon, so we had nothing to test it up against.
Yeah, but the other one was looking pretty beat and huge as well.
There were only 2 lemons on the lemon tree?
Yeah, and then there's also oranges.
So there's a separate orange tree.
Yeah.
The orange that you picked was pretty good.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, you didn't try it?
Not really.
Oh, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm probably not going to be going back over there again.
Cool. Yeah. Long story short, that's the story of the tree in the field next to us.
But I can easily jump a fence, so let's put it that way.
Yeah, you did a really good job. You're over that fence in about 0.2 seconds. I just looked over. I didn't even get a chance to... You just zoomed over there.
Zoomed it, baby.
Fast guy.
But what we wanted to do with this episode was, since we have such a long
now that we're just
guests,
filled to the brim with just the finest guests on the planet.
We got some questions from the email, which you guys can always email us at Kopercrabb
at gmail.com, baby.
So, but also I went ahead and put a little post on my Facebooks asking to shoot some questions. So we got a bunch, and we're going to do a questions Q&A episode.
That's right. You heard it. You heard it here first.
That's what we're doing today.
Cool. So let's hop into this, man. I got don't forget to go buy a mug. My mug is full of coffee today.
Got mugs. You can fill it with Recess coffee.
That's right. And a little CBD moon juice by Jade Rabbit.
So the Recess coffee gets you like way too pumped, right? And then you pop a lamb gam in there.
Yeah.
CBD takes the edge off.
That's right.
And then you can listen to music in your direct sound headphones.
And just chill the fuck out.
And I don't think we have any other sponsors, if you will.
That was really good. The way that we did put that all together was really fantastic, I think. All right, so Devin says, hey, Chaney and Navene. Hey, Devin, what's up? What are your thoughts on bands playing full albums on tour rather than curated set lists? As a band that has taken both approaches in the past, what does a full album set offer that a more traditional set list does not, and vice versa?
I honestly think it's pretty cool when a band plays a full album.
I do too.
So I've seen... The light's on again. Is there a cat burglar out there?
I wish there was a cat back there because I would take him into my home and make him my own cat.
Okay, so I've seen a couple come to mind. I've seen The Faceless play Planetary start to finish.
Which lineup?
That was current. The Planetary lineup.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It was freaking really awesome.
We're talking Steve Jones, Derek, Brandon, Lyle?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was an instance of playing a whole album is cool. But how about this? I can give you some next level when bands play multiple albums.
Who did that?
So I've seen Primus. I saw them on Halloween one time. I don't know. It was not like really long time ago, but it was probably like 14 years ago. You know, it wasn't like when I was 12 because I did see them when I was 12. But anyway, They came out and played like album after album. Get some of that. So they came out, I think, and played like...
That sounds like a fucking nightmare to me.
They came out and like played Pork Soda the whole way through. Then Sailing the Seas of Cheese all the way through. Then like they played, I think it was like 3 or 4 albums all the way through. And I've also seen Cryptopsy do something similar.
Oh, sick.
But they did None So Vile all the way through.
Obviously.
When they got Lord Worm back for a while.
Yeah.
They did None So Vile all the way through. And then they did probably just like a bunch of extra songs on top of that.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be kind of like the go-to. If you do go and play a full album, you're going to throw a couple of the old hits on it. Like the tour that we played a full album, we did Dark Future front to back a year ago, but we still played an album from the Infinite or a song from the Infinite Nothing during that set, but our set was pretty short. Like it was only a 35-minute set, I think. So if we would have had a bit longer of a set, then we would have played more songs, more stuff from old. Yeah. And I like that.
I'm a fan.
But honestly, if it's an album that I wasn't that into, then it's kind of like...
Then I'm not going to the show.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I mean, I've seen a good example is a band, Circa Survive has played, I think, all of their albums at the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
All the way through. And Circa is one of those bands where I love every single album, and they're all a little different.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed seeing that, but there are other bands where I'm just really into one album specifically.
Right.
Like Mew. I'm into Fringers, but they are playing some album that I've never even heard of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw Mew full album, and I was like,
and
yes,
it's not Fringers
sick.
or Fringers or whatever?
No. Huh. It's some other album that I don't know about because I'm just like a passerby fan, I guess.
Totally. Yeah, so I guess it depends, but in the instances that I've seen, I've been into it for sure. So I've got, I guess, lucky in that way.
We saw BT Bam playing Colors was one of the sickest
how could we not talk
ever.
about that? That was so good.
I mean, we saw BT Bam playing Colors a few years ago at the Catalyst, and there were people like crowd surfing from the 21 and over section into the all ages section, and it was just amazing. That was so awesome seeing that album played front to back, and that was a really kind of nostalgic experience as well. I mean, if you were into Colors, then
it totally hit me in the feels because Animosity actually did the original when Colors came out.
Oh, right.
We did the Colors tour, and they played Colors front to back.
Right.
And then I go to see them however many, 10 years or whatever,
it was 10
later.
Years, yeah.
And seeing them play it front to back again, and it was like, it got me in the feels.
I bet.
For sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, speaking of BT Bam, that I think is cool is the A Night With BT Bam. Or A Night With any band. But BT Bam specifically, I think they were going to go do that. I think they were playing The Great Misdirect in full and then doing a set that was like, I don't know, I might be wrong about the album that they're playing in full, but I think that it was that. And then they were doing another set of like stuff spanning the entire BT Bam catalog.
They're a band that could do that.
They totally are.
So.
But I've always thought that kind of idea was cool. With Evan, we always talked about having a night with Entheos when we were able to headline. And it would be Navene K, Evan Brewer would play a solo set. And then we would kind of do an Entheos set at the end of the night. Which I think would be sick, that type of thing.
But the thing is that I'm in every band and I don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's too much work.
Well, Evan does have an album without you.
Yeah, he could just play like alone.
I mean, we saw Evan play alone, and it was amazing.
Yeah, well, he was on the Animals tour.
Yeah,
that you did.
Well, I did merch on that tour. Yeah, that was amazing. I loved watching Evan play every night.
It was a good time. All right, we got to keep these things rolling. We're never going to get through all these questions. So this is
so the answer is playing full albums is cool, but playing a regular set is also cool.
Yeah, I've never been opposed. Haven't had a problem with it.
Yeah, no,
it's been awesome.
And as an artist, sorry to keep going on that, but as an artist, it's cool to play an entire body of music that's intended to go together.
Yeah, I right. That's something from the band perspective. every band is always into their current album or whatever, so they're gonna go.
Always.
Oh, it's gonna be so much more fun for them to play their best album, the one that they just put out.
Yeah.
Right.
And what we learned playing Dark Future Live, I think, is that some of the songs went over way better than we expected them to, and some didn't go over as well as we thought they would at all.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of feedback there.
Totally.
From the audience.
Totally.
It's kind of cool if you care about that, if you want people to like you or not.
Well, I don't really mean like that. I just mean that you could just, like, the crowd is just... There was a song specifically on Dark Future that I thought that the crowd would be really into and like moving during, but didn't happen at all.
Totally.
Whereas other songs, they were like killing it.
Exactly.
So. Unless it was at specific shows where people were just going crazy the entire time. But.
Right. But yeah, good time. Do that for sure. Okay. Jerry is here.
Hey, Jerry.
Jer is asking, this is a long one, by the way.
Jer Bear.
I'm based in New Zealand.
Good day, mate. Sorry.
Good Lord. I'm based in New Zealand, and I've just caught up on the most recent episode. Been bumming through them. I guess that means he's been.
I think that's burning.
Yeah. Oh, burning. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. Been burning through them since the whole lockdown situation. Awesome. Love the podcast and really enjoy insights into the metal scene. Also, your new track is fucking sick. Chaney's vocal was legit insane.
Thanks, Jer.
Okay, now I know why you picked this question, Chaney.
No, I pick all the questions.
I'm just kidding.
Every question that's flattering toward me gets pushed toward the top.
One thing that Chaney mentioned that I agree with is your perception before and after being signed to a label, quote unquote. I was in a band called Set on End a few years back.
I remember your band.
Oh, nice.
I remember that band.
And we were on the same label as you guys, Artery, when we released our full-length album, Dark Beyond. Check it out on Spotify.
Definitely.
Nothing bad against the label. We had a pretty positive experience with them. It just wasn't what I expected based on how much people talk about it. Another few things that you've mentioned over a couple different episodes relating to motivate. Okay, this is like sort of a different question. Well, let's just take the first piece. It wasn't what he was expecting being on a label.
I agree with that. Well, here's the thing. With our band, I was the only person going into this who hadn't been signed to a label before and didn't really, I had a lot of like green ideas about what being on a label meant.
Yeah.
And however, I did have 3 knowledgeable people around me who were there for me along the way, and because of that, I don't think that I expected too much, because you guys kind of had been around the block a few times. But I can totally relate to, I think that the perception is that when you get signed to a label, you've made it and everything is
it's just all downhill from there.
And is done.
Yeah.
And that's really not the perception at all. I think that a label, or that's really not what it is at all. I think that a label can be a really good assist, like a really good assistant in helping your band get where it needs to be and things like that. When you sign to a label, then you have direct access to things like publishing.
Yeah.
And just things that you don't really think about. Like, you don't think about how to release your music in the middle of nowhere and things like that. There are just a lot more details. Labels have connections with PR, right, and they have connections to magazines and publishing or just other ways of getting your stuff out there. They can give you the money to have copies of your music, whether it be CDs or vinyl, and there are things that a label does bring that are awesome.
Yeah, and they have their sort of machine that they can put you through.
Yeah.
And have you do, get you on the Spotify playlists and make sure that your music is distributed everywhere, like you were saying.
Totally.
And it doesn't hurt to have other people to help you out.
No, it's always awesome. It feels like you have a team of people helping you work instead of just your own solitary.
Exactly. But I think this doesn't even really apply to being on a label, but it's just so many times in your life you're going to have something in your head made out to be this revolutionary thing that's going to just magic bullet.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You to the highest point, and it's just that sort of thing for 99.9% of us doesn't happen.
Not at all. I mean, it's very rare that you find any band nowadays that's achieving the kind of whatever you perceive as being success in music. It's very rare that you're going to see someone with a major amount of what you perceive as success without years and years of work behind them.
Yeah.
Usually the label is years in. Nowadays you have to get hundreds of thousands of plays on YouTube and stuff like that before a label wants to look at you a lot of the time.
But honestly, I think, something that I've
depending on the label, by the way.
Yeah. Something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is, and what people out there who are struggling should do, is not forget why you even make music in the first place.
Yeah.
If you're doing it to be on a label and to have a lot of YouTube plays or whatever, you're always going to be upset because there's always someone with more YouTube plays than you, unless you're like Drake or something.
There's always someone who's doing better than you, who's getting more tours than you, more whatever.
That's just always going to happen. So what I'm saying is, if you base your value on
your
those
sense of self-worth,
on those things, you're always going to be bummed. That's what I think, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree with that.
But so what should you love is creating music. That's what I love. And that's what's always been the most satisfying thing to me, and still is to this day. So
also, that's what's going to get you the farthest. Your passion for the art is what's going to get you through the hard times of wondering to yourself, why did I decide to do this? Or, there are things that go wrong or can feel just hard to get through. Do you see something outside?
I think it's just super windy, and the tree is moving, and that turns on the light.
Oh my God, that scared the shit out of me. The window, I'm about to close the window behind us so we can't see out.
So what I'm saying is, get that out of your head. This am I going to be famous or not, or so-and-so's got this advantage over me? Because it's worthless.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
freaking worthless.
When you're on your deathbed, and it's cliche, but when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about any of that stuff. I was watching a documentary the other day about the band. They're called The Band. They're a classic rock group. They were Bob Dylan's
Are you talking about Da Band? P. Diddy?
No. I'm talking about Bob Dylan's backup band. But anyway, I was watching a documentary, and the main dude in their band was just saying that he experienced all of these things back in the day, being famous, being at the forefront of one of the biggest musical movements in American history, and all that he has left now are memories.
Yeah.
It's all memories. It's not about any of the other stuff. It's all about just the experience of doing it all.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all that it's about.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what keeps me going with it, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kept me going for however many years. And that's what I love to do. So that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, I think that can be demonstrated with our band. There are a lot of points with our own band where we could have just quit.
Yeah.
We've had members quit. We've gone through things in the band, and we could have just given it up easily. Yeah. But I'd hate to be here 5 years in, looking back at a band that maybe called it quit at 3 years in. Maybe Entheos called it quit at 3 years in, and now here we are 5 years in, and I'm looking back at it. Just the things that we've accomplished in the past 2 years are worth moving on.
Totally.
They're worth seeing what the next 2 or 5 years bring.
Even if we didn't accomplish anything in terms of going to other countries or whatever.
Well, I just mean
it's worth it.
I just mean the accomplishment of creating the things that we've created.
That's what I'm saying.
That's awesome to me. Like, I'm going to be proud of Dark Future for the rest of my life. Yeah. I'm always going to cherish that experience that we had with Travis and Evan came and stayed at our barn for 2 weeks, and we all just like hunkered down in there. Everyone wrote music while I was writing lyrics in the corner, and we just like chilled and did it. And it's all about that experience for me. And I'm never going to forget that.
I totally agree. And doing the last little song has its own value to it.
Oh, yeah.
Just making it here during the quarantine or whatever.
You'll always be able to look back at those things that you did and attach them to a moment. And that's the cool part of it.
All right, babe. Next question. Babe.
Jimmy.
Should I not call you babe on here? Probably not.
Give a fuck. Hey, babe.
All right, babe.
Jimmy. First, I'm stoked on the new song and that you guys are doing okay in quarantine. Thanks, Jimmy. I hope you're doing okay, too. I think the vocals sound better than ever, which is amazing from a home recording.
What do you know?
I swear I didn't put that there on purpose. My question is mostly to Navene. Wow, Jimmy, you really turned that one around, didn't you?
Okay, whoa.
Oh, God. My question is mostly to Navene about Entheos's... How do you say that? Do you say it Entheos's or Entheos?
I think it's Entheos's.
Entheos. About Entheos bass going forward after seeing you talk a bit about it on this week's podcast. I'm not very skilled, but I've been playing guitar and drums for a long time and have been playing bass more or less just to fill out the bedroom recordings. In the past year or two, I've started trying to learn the Evan Brewer slap thump style with the right hand. It's still very hard for me to play fast, brap, 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 brap. I don't know how he wanted me to say that, but brap, brap kind of patterns without a pick. But I can already see how you can do some cool stuff with it. Go right from slapping to fast shit to tapping without worrying about putting slap and pop, or without worrying about putting the pick in your mouth or whatever. One of the aspects that originally got me into Entheos was the bass was just so sick, and I had not really heard that slap and pop done so well in the metal context before, or even heard a lot of mixes where the bass stands out other than maybe Beyond Creation. Anyway, I've personally enjoyed getting into bass for its own sake since it's more rhythmic than a guitar and just slams your chest through the speakers like a kick drum. I've basically come full circle and now suspect it could be the most important instrument at a metal show, either bass or the China cymbal. So I guess my question is, are you using a pick on bass? Also wondering if you have some sort of specific approach to bass or if it's more like an extension of your guitar playing. Finally, are you guys thinking of any quarantine playthroughs or onto more singles?
Yeah, so we're definitely doing the quarantine playthroughs.
Yeah, we're making one right now.
We're making it.
Yeah.
We just haven't been doing it, but we got set up to do it.
Yeah, we're set up to do it, but we're also thinking about doing another song. I think we're gonna, we'll work. We're gonna do some stuff.
And then with the bass, bass is pretty fun. I like it. Let's be honest with you. So yeah, I did play bass on the new song, and I can kind of do slapping, but it's not like super the cleanest slapping ever. I can do it tight enough to get the take that I need for each riff or whatever. But I'm not gonna just do slapping because that's how the old Entheos bass is and feel like I have to do that. You know what I mean? So the bass is going to sound ripping and stuff like that. But I mean, I did some finger style stuff, some slapping, and then I played a bunch of stuff with a pick. So
I think that overall the goal is that we get the same essence on bass and cover some of the same.
Maybe get some ripping tone in there and stuff, but I don't need to go, whoa, what exactly would Evan do? Because it's like, if I do that, it's not going to sound good because I'm not Evan.
Exactly. It's like with that, Evan is a very stylized bass player, and to try to emulate his playing, I think, is doing a total disservice to the playing. So
of course I'm like inspired by Evan on bass, but I'm going to do it more in my own way, and then I did utilize a couple more guitar style techniques with a pick, but yeah, I like to do it all. And I'm not a super pro bass player by any means, but I can get the job done.
Yeah,
sure.
I think you killed it on that track. You did a really good job, and you really achieved what you do because, well, not just because you're the person who writes the riffs, but what you do really serves the riffs. And, you did some cool bass shit.
That reminds
good.
me. So yeah, if my approach to bass is definitely not just doing what the guitar does. If you listen to that song and just pay attention to the bass, there's all sorts of other stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're very aware that our bass has been sick. Like we're aware of it. Yeah. We know that Evan is sick as fuck, and we know that it's added an awesome element to our band, and we're not gonna lose that. If anything, Navene will just continue to expand now that, or whatever happens in the future.
Or get a bass. I mean, there's no real rules to the thing.
There are no rules. I think that really is something that's really important for me to get across with our band moving forward, obviously, is that there are just no rules.
We're just doing whatever we feel like.
We're doing what we feel like because we want to be happy making music. We don't want to do something to serve. Not that we aren't like grateful. It's so amazing. Speaking for myself, it's so amazing that people want to listen to the stuff that we put out.
Blows my mind.
But we're always going to do it on our own terms. We're always going to write what we want to write, and that's just how it is.
So that's the deal right there with the bass, with dat bass. Okay, we got. You want to come back to this one here?
Oh no, let's go for the rest of it.
What has been your favorite non-music related quarantine activity?
That's from Ian.
Did you want to put quarantine? Like a play on words?
I think so.
Okay, that's cool. I back it.
Sick job on that.
Chaney, what have you been up to on the quarantine?
I have been writing a lot of music. I think it's a whole song almost that I wrote.
I know. That's awesome. I think you should make a solo EP, dude. What up? Or at least one song.
Yeah, I probably will. We'll see.
You have a place to record it here.
I know. I know. Ideally, I would write a few songs and then go and have Navene help me go back over them and then track them for me. But we'll see. I'm not
I think it would be fun. I think it would be super fun, and it would be really satisfying for you.
Definitely.
For sure.
Well, it's something I do for fun anyway. I write music often. But
what kind of stuff is it, Chaney? What are we talking about? Technical death metal?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
I think it's like
post-rock.
I was going to say post-rock.
Yeah, that's...
sad rock.
Yeah. I love sad music. I don't know what it is about me, but I've just always loved music that makes me depressed. But it makes me happy.
Yeah,
I like emotional music.
Emotional music.
I like emotional, post-rock.
For sure.
What have you been doing, Navene?
So, we've been hearing it a lot. I've been working on the van. Coco Bolo.
Coco
Cashmere. It's a new name.
Coco Cash, for short.
Because the stain that I got for the wood paneling on the side is called cashmere. So I was like, oh shit, it's Coco Cashmere.
Coco
what
Cash.
up?
Coco Cash.
But I've been doing that a lot, and I've been making cool updates on my GoPro, but then not posting them. So I think tomorrow. No, I'm going to definitely do this tomorrow. We're going to dump all my GoPro updates on the Kopercrabb podcast page.
Yeah.
To check out that van life that we got going on in there.
You got to put some a guitar, some home improvement tunes on top of it.
Okay, so you think I should edit together a little video?
Yeah, and just upload one.
And cut them
instead
together.
of a dump, I mean.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll do that then. I'll cut a video.
That would be sick. It's really cool.
So yeah, I stripped out.
This is coming from someone. I was a doubter at the beginning.
Damn.
I was a doubter just because I don't know. The van is
scary.
An expensive piece of equipment, and to fuck it up or to
So
I didn't know how it was gonna go.
It's
Not that I don't believe in you, but
a piece of equipment, and then Chaney and I paid it off not too long ago, and it's ours, so it's real like, you know, when you have something on like a debt or credit, you kind of feel like it's not yours. You're like, whatever, fuck that thing. Who gives a shit? That's how I feel. Or
I
felt.
do not feel like
okay.
that.
Well, that's how I used to feel. Anyway, it's ours now, and I'm feeling, I even I had moments where I was like, what am I doing here?
Well,
I had
because
tore out all the seats, tore out all the plastic shit on the walls. You know, I mean, it's kind of a big deal. And if I didn't know what I was doing, what do? Right? There's no turning back.
Yeah, there's
like,
no turning back.
I can't get that shit back in there. It's not
and
gonna
you've decreased the value of the van then.
Yeah, at that point. Now, I don't know. It might be a little bit of an upgrade.
Well, I'm saying that if you fucked it up, it would have decreased the value of the van.
So I've been sticking it through, been trying to do a really good job.
Which you have. It's been
wrong.
been impressive.
It's been really fun. So I've been doing that. It's a lot of work. I think I've been working on it for like 2 weeks or more.
Yeah, you have.
But the first like 4 days I went hard, like 12 hours a day. And then since then it's kind of tapered off, and now I just do like a little bit each day. But I'm getting towards...
It seems like you still do about 6 to 8 hours a day.
You think so?
Definitely.
Damn.
Well, just from the time that you go and sit in it in the morning and like pontificate.
Dude, it's got such a freaking sick vibe in there, man.
You just pontificate in it in the morning.
It's a great place to think.
Then so then you hang out in there quite a bit, I think.
I love just being in there. You know, I look around and I think about, what am I going to do? I'm going to put this over here.
Yeah.
This little thing.
Makes sense, I think.
So I'm getting to the point where the floor is a wood floor with insulation underneath of it. The walls are insulated. One of the walls I've covered the windows up. And then one of the other walls has the windows still exposed. Those are going to have curtains on them. But what I have done already is put the insulation up, and I've put one of the wood paneling sheets up, cut it out. I've got the other one for the big side cut out, stained. That was a whole trip, staining it and woodworking and stuff. I've never done that before. So
yeah, but you did a really great job. You cut it out really well. You didn't even have all of the tools that you really needed.
No, because I was talking to Evan about it today. Mm-hmm. He was saying that I'm basically Amish for cutting out those panels with a Dremel and not using a jigsaw.
Oh yeah.
But I just didn't want to. I didn't remember we said that I was like, I'm only going to spend $500.
Yeah.
So I'm out. I'm tapped.
Well,
so I got to just use the Dremel straight up.
I think that now you can spend a little more money on it.
I mean, there's not really anything we need right now. We're going to need cushions for the love seat, and we're going to need a cushion for the bunk. And then I was thinking today, I could talk about this for like 3 hours.
I can tell. Maybe we should move on.
Let's keep it going. Under the bunk, here's what I've been thinking today.
I was thinking you should start your own podcast that's just talking about the van all the time.
That is a great idea. That's such a great idea.
You won't do it, but
I know. But okay, so underneath there's a bunk, which is really cool. It's like free floating because I attached it to the walls of the van.
Yeah.
So there's no posts or anything. Under that, I was thinking if we had like a removable...
Navene, have you had the camera on yourself this whole time?
No, it's on both of us.
Oh.
Why?
I'm just wondering.
So...
I don't know why.
I was thinking we could have like a removable dresser. So when it's just me and you going on trips and stuff, we have like a dresser under there. It'd be super sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then when we go on tour, we take it out.
Totally.
Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
It's looking really cool, and we posted a picture of it yesterday on our Instagram and Facebook if you want to go and check it out. That's at Kopercrabb Podcast. I think on both of those.
And the internet was going nuts over that thing.
Yeah, the internet was going nuts.
And a bunch of people knew that the name was Coca-Cola.
I know. You guys are fucking awesome. So yeah, you should go if you want to see a picture of it. It's on our Instagram and Facebook, and we'll keep posting pictures on it to update you because it's a really cool project.
Yeah, I think if you're fortunate enough to have the space and you're not too concerned with the quarantine thing, it's a good time to get some work done.
Absolutely. Work on something that you have been putting off for a long time. That's really what I've been doing and what it's all about, I think.
I agree, 100%. Favorite show. This is from Steven Summers. Favorite show during the quarantine. Chaney. That's a pretty obvious one. I mean, there's a right and wrong answer here.
What, Tiger King?
Yeah, obviously.
That's everyone's favorite show during the fucking quarantine. We watched it 2 times.
Well, we didn't watch the whole thing twice. Probably got second episode of the second go around.
Yeah.
And Chaney got bored with it.
Yeah, well, the second time, because I had seen when you had fallen asleep, I watched the entire series once, and then I rewatched it with you. And then we were going back and rewatching it a third time, like right in a row. So I was ready to turn on. I was ready to turn on something else.
I think there was some you falling asleep and me watching episodes as well happening at some point.
Maybe. I don't think so though. But
we like that.
But we've also been watching King of the Hill.
Now that's a show right there.
It's a great show. But we've also been watching Marrying Millions, which is
it's horrifying. Absolutely.
I think it's a TLC or a Lifetime document or like reality show.
Yeah.
Which is, just one of those shows that it's kind of cool to binge while you're sick one day. But honestly, this Marrying Millions show got me really thinking about society. Even though it's just like one of those throwaway reality series. Like it's just, edited, dumb and all
That's
this
not
shit.
how I looked at it at all.
No, I saw it as an experiment on society. Like none of those millionaires and none of those people who seemed to base their life around material objects were happy at all. Seemed happy to me. None of them seemed happy. They all seemed really concerned with their money and really concerned with their money. And then on the other side, it was like they couldn't gauge who was a real friend and who was just around for the money.
It's horrible.
So they would end up with people or friends who were just like wrong for them.
Right.
And it was just really strange.
Or
I don't know. It didn't make me feel good.
Yeah. It just made me, I guess that's just the type of person that I am and how we are, but no thanks. I want to just have the nice essentials covered. I mean, honestly, what we have, to me, is far beyond essential.
To me, we're like...
And we're not anything
To me,
special.
we're rich. And I don't mean that in this way that we have millions of dollars or anything, but we have a place to live.
Yeah.
We live in a really beautiful place. I would be okay with living in a place that's not even nearly as beautiful as Santa Cruz.
We have a small spot in Santa Cruz, and that's, to me, hit the lotto.
It's heaven.
It's heaven.
We have a backyard. It's small, but it's a backyard.
But but
that doesn't even matter.
Think about if one of those millionaires came, they had to live here. They'd probably be like, they'd think it was like the worst thing.
Yeah,
ever.
They'd
think it was such a commoner, like just bull.
Well, they would think we were living in poverty.
But I just don't see, and this kind of goes back to my label thing, I just don't see there being any real value to that stuff at all. I don't see those people being happy.
I don't see them.
But of course,
as
that's
being
just
happy.
for people they picked to look a certain way on a show. Of course,
but here's the thing: when you start, I don't know. This really, okay. There's something about. Sometimes you will encounter people in life. I've met people like this. You have too. What their main focus and everything that they talk about is what they're doing lately, what they have going on, like to the point, and like, I've got this and I just got this and this is what I'm doing, and like it's
just on the hunt for that
to the point
status.
that they don't care about you at all. They're not saying anything to you or asking how you're doing, and they're not saying anything that has any real value to it. At the end of the day, it's all just materialistic type shit that they're talking about, and none of that. After I get out of a conversation with someone who does that, I never take away from it, wow, that person is really, really happy.
Yeah. Or wow, I want to be like that.
Or
person.
wow, I want to be like that.
Like no,
ever.
Thank you. Yeah. So
there's just, I don't think that it's a good thing to place all of your value in life on what you've acquired and your status.
I know, and then have to think, is this person marrying me because they like me or not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, to me, no thanks, man.
Here's another
I
thing.
like to be genuine with people, and that's worth more to me than money.
Yeah. I also have always found it really disturbing when people flock to fame or people like
it's the same, one and the same.
Yeah.
It's one and the same.
For sure. I just don't really like that. I don't think that it's an attractive quality. It's cool to look at people as if they start on the same level.
Yeah.
Not to hold one person against someone else because they're like famous or rich or whatever.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
I think it's better to look at people for who they are.
Yeah. And that's why I loved going to hardcore shows and local shows and stuff like that. It was said out loud. There's no fucking rock stars here. That was something that you would hear.
I know. It's when we
I still like that. It's not something I liked when I was a kid and grew out of it. I still am into that.
Me too. Absolutely. And when we saw Terror a month or so ago, Scott Vogel was on stage just like saying all of that stuff again, and it made me feel so stoked.
Yeah.
So happy.
That's what I think is cool. That's who I want to be like.
Me too. Me too.
That's why I'm over here playing death metal.
So that's
not a real estate investor.
That's what Marrying Millions led us to. It was kind of like an existential awakening in a way. Although I've always felt like that. It was just
it was wow. It's just
it was an example of the grim life of fortune. But
some people would watch that and they would think, oh, that they must be so happy with all that money and so. You know what I mean? Like it's the perception is going to be different for
but at the same
time you are.
At the same time, I don't think that every rich person is like that.
Definitely not.
There are humble rich people. These were just not of course they picked out the most not humble people to be on a reality series, but
I don't even know if they were the most not humble. It was just the situation that they had for themselves and the way it's conveyed on the show is a no thank you for Navene.
Yeah. Chaney too. Check that off. All right.
Okay, Chaney.
Otis Archer, pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Definite no.
I'm going yes. Delicious. I love sweet and savory together. Yum.
I haven't had it in a really long time, but because I would never order that. That's insanity. But I don't know. I guess I'll give it a try. Have we been we talked about this?
Yeah,
on
we
the show.
talked about it before.
So
I think that someone asked us in a live episode that we did.
Okay, so that's a reoccurring.
Otis also says dream tour package for when quarantine is over. I mean, I just want to go on tour.
Yeah, a tour.
Any tour. Let's get back on the road.
Yeah, and I think honestly, so we're gonna do a hippie answer on this one.
Yeah, dude, we just want to get back on tour, man. Peace and love, bruh.
So we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What would be the dream tour?
Yeah.
And for us, the dream tour is it's either a headliner of ours, and there's people there to see us. That would be the dream tour.
Yeah, that's the dream.
And then we can take out
bands that we really like
that we think should get some praise, spotlight, if you will.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. That's the dream.
That's the fucking dream, man.
That's the dream.
And you know what? I just want to pack out like a very, very small room.
We're talking like maybe some VFWs.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I just want to go.
Yeah, I like that energy of people to be there that are there because they want to see your band.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people would see that question and say, oh, I want to go like Metallica and this, but it's the harsh reality is you go on tour with bands like that and nobody really wants to even see you.
Yeah.
So you're better off playing a 50-person show where everybody wants to see you. Yeah. That's from experience.
That's totally. Those are always my favorite tours.
Definitely. So that would be the...
Not to sound conceited, because that's not what it's about. But, it's just awesome.
It's a tour when there's people there to see us.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Adnan. I think that's how you say your name. Terzik. Have you been working on any side projects? I still love Flesh Rot. Fuck yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you. Not really. I started a session where I was going to potentially work on some electronic music again.
Sick.
But I came back the next day and I was like on my computer and I was like, oh look, I opened a session and it's just blank. So didn't actually take place. I want to do that. We have some other ideas of stuff that we want to do that would fall under side project, I guess.
Yeah, I've like I said, I wrote a song, so that's a side project thing. That wouldn't be Antheos.
Yeah.
One thing that we are both doing is like practicing and tracking slots on other people's records. So
There you go.
I don't know if you consider that a side project, but we've been doing that.
We'll give you some more updates on that.
Yep.
In the future.
It's a secret. Shh.
Okay. Chaney, here's a question that I think you've already got before, but we'll do it again. Right?
Yeah, favorite horror films.
That's from Eddie Troutner.
You don't have any favorite horror films, Navene?
Maybe like Army of Darkness. Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say Army of Darkness or
That's in the Evil Dead
El Orfanto.
franchise.
I'm going to call that.
Guillermo del Toro has which is who did El Orfanto, which I haven't even seen that movie, but I've seen all of his others. He's got another movie called
It just came out, right?
No, it came out a few years ago. I can't remember the name of it. No, the one that just came out is one that he produced, I believe. He did not direct it, and that's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which was okay.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. That was okay, but he didn't direct it. So, but he's got another movie that's about an orphanage, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Yeah, about a haunted orphanage, which is really good, that I can't remember off the top of my head.
So I liked that.
The name of.
What else would be considered horror? I don't know.
That's not a good starting point.
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun is funny. I've probably seen more horror films out of the two of us.
Okay, so we're going with Evil Dead, and Chaney's favorite is Leprechaun 3.
I'm going to go with the classics on this one. I said last time VHS because I had seen VHS really close to the episode that I talked about horror stuff on before. And VHS was fucking weird.
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
That's a Weird Al Yankovic movie.
Are you serious?
I think it's called
It's called VHS.
Yeah.
Well, VHS is also a horror movie, and there's VHS and VHS 2.
All right.
The first one is kind of freaky. The story
DVD is the second one.
DVD. Blu-ray.
Beta
So
disc.
yeah, that one then it was kind of freaking me out because I thought of that movie for weeks. There's specifically a scene where they take a girl back to like two guys take a girl back to a hotel room and shit just goes awry. And that scene stuck with me for a long time. But now I'm gonna go with like Psycho and The Exorcist.
Damn.
I'm gonna go with some of the
I think I've seen The Exorcist.
OGs.
I think that was a good one.
You think that was a good one?
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's just
I've seen that one. Very
out.
good one. And what about
Actually, The Exorcist 3 as well is a low-key banger. Check out The Exorcist 3 if you guys haven't seen it. 2, not as good, but 3 and 1, really good.
Okay, so is this next question like it says dream concert ever? Is that one that we want to attend? Or was that the show one? We already did that one.
Let's answer the one we want to attend.
Okay. I don't know. Hold on.
At this point in my life,
I blew it. I should have hit that sneeze button for you, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Dang it.
That's not the Rona, you guys.
Sneeze. Dream concert ever. Chaney, you got one in mind here?
I mean, I don't know, man.
There's so many different directions I could
go.
I mean,
it's a lot of stuff. I mean, do you want me to name every favorite band I've ever had in my life?
Do we have a time machine
and have
or
a
no?
10-day festival of all of those bands?
Okay, how about your favorite show that you've been to recently? Not recently, but in the last couple of years.
My favorite show that I've been to in the last couple of years was seeing Air.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a show, but seeing Morgan play the Soul Niger medley.
My dream concert's Soul Niger within live. So that covers two. That covers a band playing an album live and best concert. If they could make that happen with Frederick and Morgan and maybe have Matt's on keyboards.
I would love to see
that saxophone guy. I would cry a lot.
I think I would fly for that show.
I would fly anywhere.
I would fly to great distances to see that show.
Period.
If Air was on the show as well, then I'm like flying
That
to
would just be
Africa
weird,
for it.
I would fly
I'll
where-
fly to Timbuk fucking 2 for that.
That's what
show.
I want, and that's Frederick Thorndahl's Special Defects playing the album Soul Niger Within live. That would be great.
Man, imagine that. I would cry at that show too. I think.
I would definitely cry.
I would cry.
Definitely. Okay. Ads a la Frizz asks,
Says
with Travis Lavrier out of the scene, which made me a little sad, TBH. Who's going to be the new guitar player for your live shows? And we have Chase Frazier lined up, ready to go. Homeboy learned the whole set.
Mm-hmm.
He was itching, chomping at the bit, and then our tours got canceled. And it's probably, we don't know when we're going to go on tour again. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
we really don't know when that's going to happen.
No, we have no idea. But I'm assuming if Chase is free. Chase was a guitar player in Animosity. Chase is the guitar player of Continuum and the main songwriter in Continuum.
He's in Decrepit Birth.
Decrepit Birth. I think he was in Son of Aurelius for a minute as well.
Yep.
Chase has been
Taste
around the
Blood
block.
Back in the day.
Yeah, with Demon Carcass.
Yeah.
So Chase has been around the block, and he was practicing with Navene. He was lined up to go on these 2 tours with us.
Lives in Santa Cruz, by the way.
Lives
so
in
we
Santa
can,
Cruz.
We
we
were having straight up band practice. It was fun.
Yeah, Chase is our homie.
So we're gonna keep doing that, keep jamming, and keeping up the chops, and then
and then Hugo.
see what happens.
Hugo from Beyond Creation was playing bass for us on these 2 tours.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the future goes. It depends on their touring schedules and ours. We're not. Time will tell.
Well, and Chaney and I have been sort of brainstorming other stuff that we could do instead of a tour, because we don't really know when the next tour is going to be, and so we're working on doing something cool.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Okay, and he also says online drum lessons, Navene, when? And the answer is I don't know.
Yep.
At some point, we'll make that happen.
Mark DePriest, or is it no, it's probably DePriest, right? What was your greatest challenge when you first started learning an instrument?
None. Instruments are easy for me, so no, I don't.
God. Honestly, here's what's hard in learning an instrument for me, is just learning to get over the hump of when you're frustrated or stuck, putting it down. Learning to move on when you're frustrated or stuck on something instead of putting the instrument down and not touching it for a couple of days or weeks or months or whatever.
I would honestly say that too. And with the jokes aside, consistency is the hardest thing for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm acting all, big shot over here, but really I don't think that at all. Like there's times where, like I've mentioned on the podcast when I was watching John Longstreth's videos and just thinking, wow, I really blew it. I should have practiced more. I could be that good. And so sticking to it is definitely the hardest part.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my advice would be don't beat yourself up. Like I got to practice 8 hours a day. Like just going through the motions 15 minutes a day. It does a lot. Like I don't actually play drums or guitar for more than, I'd say at minimum it's like 10 minutes each, and at maximum an hour or 2.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not like recording.
That's the same for me. And honestly, in like getting as good as you can at what you do, for me, doing vocals at least a little every day has always been better than not doing vocals for one day.
That is such a game-changing mindset to have.
Yeah.
And it can go for a lot of different things. Like a bad plan is better than no plan, right? Some practice is better than no practice.
Yeah.
And like when I was doing the van,
Here he goes again.
So I was like,
I'm just kidding,
trying to get this insulation in there, and I'm sitting there beating myself up like, oh, it's got to be just right. And I don't know if this is actually the best functionality or the best way to go, because the insulation thing is like a heavily debated topic in the van world or whatever. And then I came across a post that was like, hey, some insulation is better than no insulation.
Yeah.
And I was like, boom, there we go. I like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that I've done in my life that I'm proud of started with I'm just gonna try it out, and even if it's bad, do it bad. It's better than not doing it.
Yeah, just follow through with it. And that's really key in anything that you want to do in life. You know,
Exactly.
people have things that come to them naturally, but none of that really works out for you unless you continue to practice and hone your craft.
Exactly. And yeah, so the natural ability thing, that'll get your foot in the door or whatever.
Yeah, but you have to actually practice to get anywhere.
Totally. Because somebody I truly believe that somebody who's got way less talent than you or whatever can surpass by working.
Absolutely.
And you can't just bullshit your way just all day with your potential or whatever. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go with consistency, hardest part.
Definitely. Carlos says, which vocal mic do any of you recommend to perform live but also is useful for home recording?
I would get, did you want to take that one, Chaney?
Probably the 57A.
I agree.
SM57A.
Beta 57.
Beta 57.
Or Beta
A.
Yeah, that one rules because it's got the grill
Yeah.
and the nice grill. It sounds great on snare or whatever, guitar cab. And I actually recorded the Fleshrot album vocals with that mic.
Yeah, so that
True
is
story.
what I would use. But honestly, the thing is, I really liked the Beta 57A, and then I played it live, and all of our sound guys got pissed at me for using it live because it is dynamic.
Yeah, it's a dynamic.
It's a dynamic mic, which is not good for vocals because it's picking up everything in the cone.
Well, no, I think they're complaining that it's too directional. Right? That's what they're complaining about.
I thought that they were maybe, yeah.
Because there's dynamic and condenser, but that's two different. Like these mics are condensers, so they need power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, keep in mind,
I think it was the
Navene knows more about
directional
microphones than
thing.
I do.
That they're concerned with.
Okay, well,
like it's more if you're like over here a little bit, it's not going to pick up very much.
Right, yeah. So it was
Directional
that's exactly what it was. So it was that I have a tendency to come in and like do vocals at different areas of a mic.
Yeah.
So not going all into the head of the microphone was causing some issues with our live sound. So honestly, if I'm going to recommend anything, it's spend $500 and get yourself a Shure 58, SM58. That's the one that everyone uses, the like beginner's mic. And then get
okay, you're saying get two mics.
That's if you can, drop $500
or just a regular old 58. That'll do the trick.
Yeah, I'd get a 58 and also a 7B, the 2-pack.
Those are like, how much are those?
7Bs are $400.
Yeah. So
And then a 58 is about, I think, $98. So if you have $500 to spend, then you could get two mics.
let's go with he doesn't have 500.
I know, fuck.
He's just getting the 58.
All right,
That's
just
it.
get the 58.
Or get the 58 and then go on Greg's list and get a condenser mic for vocals for like $50.
Yeah, do that.
Get some condenser. Like I'm a budget friendly type guy.
Yeah.
So I don't have
I'm a little more bougie. So I'm
I don't have any gear that's that expensive.
Yeah.
So you can get by with, especially if you're not an advanced person anyway. Like if you're a novice recording engineer, but you have some sick mic, a Neumann or whatever, you're not going to get these great results.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you should be more concerned with your ear at this point than the gear. It's the ear, not the gear. What up?
Damn.
Didn't make that up, but.
You know, it's funny. I was pointing at this mic because I'm so used to using my 7B.
Yeah. I think that's what, like, Joe Rogan has those.
Yeah, those.
We are using the crappiest.
Well, that's
mics
because we
possible.
only have one 7B. That's the one that I use for recording.
So eventually,
that's my
we'll
mic.
Step our game up. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to be making a lot of money for me to want to spend
Maybe if you guys donate
$800 on mics.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
And
But
we would have to get 4 of them, maybe. I don't know.
So follow what Navene said, and especially after this coronavirus, get your own goddamn microphone. to play live with, because
Shit.
who knows what has been crusting up inside of those microphones for years. They're disgusting, the microphones that are house mics. Get your own mic after this shit. Never use a house mic again. That's gross. All right. Next question.
I guess maybe not. Now is not the time to buy a mic off of Craigslist.
Yeah, no. Get that shit new and use antibacterial. Leave it out in your garage for 3 days to make sure that it has no Rona on it.
Quarantine it.
The veggie deli thing. Do you want to...
Yeah. So Kevin's asking what happened to Veggie Deli. That shit was delicious. And that was my dad ran a vegetarian meat company. But it was in the late 90s. Ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time.
There is a product out there that tastes freaking identical to it. I just can't remember. But it was like sliced veggie meat. Oh,
my coffee tastes like cigarette ashes. This is not recessed coffee either. That's why. That's why it tastes so bad.
Okay, there's it was like seitan, you know?
Yeah.
It was really good. But I don't know. I think it's just making food, being in the food industry, production industry is really, really tough. And you're up against a lot of regulation, for real. Like, they fucked with them hard because they had a factory in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can imagine San Francisco, they love them some regulation. So, I mean, they had to, like, the horror stories that my dad would tell me. Like, that fridge sticks out 1 inch too far. Like, you have to redo the whole thing.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah, I remember.
There was a point where he had to tear up, like, all the plumbing they did and, like...
That's the story I remember him telling. Yeah.
I mean, it's... Oh, no, he said they came in and were like, oh, you used this kind of... You used copper, but it has to be PVC. Got to redo it.
Yep.
And it's like, we just spent however many thousands of dollars. And, I mean, I think they were in a lawsuit because... They had a product that tasted too much like another company's. I mean, it's a tough business, man. But my dad wanted to do it because he believed in the company, and it probably would have done a lot better now, to be honest with you. Because at the time, there was not a whole lot. Like I said, it was late 90s, so there wasn't a whole lot of demand for vegetarian meat at the time. But we were vegetarian back in the day, so.
Wish that was still around, though, because then we'd get free vegetarian
You better believe it. Yeah, they had a lot of good stuff, too, because they expanded. They had a bunch of different flavors of the slices, and then they had, like, the chicken-style ones, and then they had the mayonnaise, which was my favorite. The Gore Mayo, it was called.
Yeah, I've heard great stories about that mayonnaise.
So Gore Mayo ripped, and I used to work in the factory when I was a kid, just, like, over the summer and stuff.
Child labor laws.
I mean, I probably wasn't worth anything, you know?
That's what they tell. That's what they tell the child workers.
Wasn't there fucking around with my brother, like getting into fights with him and stuff. So
anyway, they got sued. They got sued for child labor.
Yeah, and I talked about it on the last episode. Go check it out. How there was a bunch of hardcore affiliated people who worked there who got me into going to hardcore shows. A guy who worked there actually had a drum set up in the office upstairs. So I'd be like, yo, I need to go on break. And I'd go
rip it.
Play some drums, man. It was sick.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's what happened. I don't know. Ultimately, I don't really know what happened to the company. I think my dad got out and someone else took over, and then it isn't around anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what it is. Okay, I believe Louie... Good old Louie's asking, I believe I heard a re-recording of Chemical Flashbacks on one of your Instagram stories a few weeks back. You plan on releasing new versions of old songs. Oh, shit.
Wow, that's a very good ear you have, Louie.
Good ear. We did re-record Chemical Flashbacks.
We did.
So it's chilling on my computer. We made a couple cool adjustments here and there. I changed a riff.
Mm-hmm.
And... we're kind of just waiting for the right moment to put it out, right, Chaney?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what we're gonna do with it yet.
Wait, we didn't redo the vocals yet.
We don't have them all done, but most of the vocals are done.
Oh yeah, and there was some good stuff in there too.
Yeah, the vocals are a lot better than the original Primal recording, I think. But we don't know what we're gonna do with it. The original plan was, so on these upcoming tours, we knew that we were gonna release "Remember You Were Dust." It's the 5-year anniversary of Primal, and in celebration of that, we were gonna put out a new recording of Chemical Flashbacks. We were about to go on a couple of super death metal tours, so we were busting out a lot of our death metal, super death metal cuts, and we wanted to bring Chemical Flashbacks back because we like that song. So that's what we were going to do. We were going to put Remember You Were Dust and Chemical Flashbacks on a little EP together to like sell for a couple of bucks.
Right.
When the tours ended up not happening, we decided not to do that. So yeah, we're sitting on a re-recording of Chemical.
Yeah, I want to put it out.
I think we'll see. I think maybe I would like to maybe release it on an extended version of an album in the future or something. I don't plan on putting it out anytime soon, but I think
I do. So
I think it'll see the light of day sometime soon, or sometime in the future for sure.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, good ear, Louie. Lulu.
Good old Lou.
Orlando Garcia says, if Entheos could have a signature burger, pizza, or beer, what would it consist of and why?
All right.
Damn, I don't know.
Well,
that's hard.
Is it though? I mean,
okay. Which one are we picking for
signature burger?
That would be hard.
I don't know
because
I would say
it would have to be like half vegetarian, half.
I know we don't even know. We'd have to you'd have to talk to us depending on like what diet we're on.
Yeah, Navene and I are both like really weird about. We go on diets. We're yo-yo dieters.
That's what we're called. So.
We go back and forth between millions of diets, and
so it depends. If it was now, I'd be leaning like maybe let's do a veggie burger.
You would do veggie burger right now?
I'm thinking veggie burger right now.
Really?
Kind of going in a veggie direction.
I would kind of eat a veggie burger right now.
But it'd have to be really good. So there's that.
I typically prefer when I'm going veggie I typically prefer black bean patties.
Let's do a black bean burger. That's super good, like that one that we had in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
That one was insane.
I was really, really drunk that night.
I know,
me and Evan
ate your burger, and it was
great.
Can't
remember.
Okay, so we're going to do some kind of really good black bean burger and the reasoning why is because maybe we're going in a veggie direction. Maybe there's some avocado on there. I'm still going to do cheese. I'm not going to be vegan. We're not doing that.
I would throw on some nice spicy mayo, perhaps from Veggie Deli.
There we go. Gourmet on there.
I've never had it.
They had a Chipotle mayo. Dude, they had Chipotle, the Chipotle, before it was cool.
Wow.
There was nothing called Chipotle at the time.
They were ahead of their time. If they would exist now, they would have been huge.
They were. Okay.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So then what's the pizza? I want to do all three.
Pizza, I typically am just I like cheese pizza.
Or classic.
But I like Chicago deep dish. So I'm going to go Chicago deep dish, mushroom, and cheese. But for the deep dish,
that would be good with me.
I'm going cheese topper, and there's this place called Felix and Oscar's in Des Moines where they do a cheese topper pizza, and it's like a Chicago deep dish, but like it's a shitload of cheese on top.
It's an inordinate amount of cheese.
Yeah, it takes 45 minutes or an hour to make.
I've never had one. I've just heard Chaney talk about it throughout our whole relationship.
Yeah, because they're amazing. I haven't had one in the past 10 years.
Okay, so why is that the Entheos pizza?
That's the Chaney pizza. I don't give a fuck about
Damn.
Entheos.
All right.
Because you're going to pick like olives and I'm sorry, I love olives on pizza, but if I'm going like my signature
black
pizza,
olive,
it's not going to have black olives on it.
Okay. I can dig what you just said. I can dig it. Now beer, what are we doing?
I used to think that Delirium was my favorite beer, and then I drank a bunch of like craft beer and IPAs and went back and had a Delirium a week or two ago, and it's like Delirium just doesn't have the full body flavor.
I know. Something was missing.
Something was missing. It was too light for me, and it almost tasted like a Bud Light.
I think for me, it can be any kind of beer. We just got to have some really cool packaging on there.
That's right. That's what's up. Yeah. We know that's what it's all about is the packaging.
Yeah. So let's have, I'm thinking maybe it's a spin-off of Coors Light packaging. Okay. But it says Entheos, not light. And then it's, I don't know, some kind of craft thing. Someone else can make it.
My favorite kind of beer that I'm going to pick off the shelf is the one that it doesn't matter how it tastes. Even though I like IPAs, so I will pick that if I like go to a brewery and I don't see the can. But if I'm picking a can or a bottle, it's going to be matte. If it's a matte black can with like some bursting color on it, that's the can I'm on.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the taste.
So we chose that because we don't care about the beer. We just whatever, it doesn't matter as long as it looks cool.
Yeah.
You have to read this next one.
Camille or Camel? No, I'm guessing Camille. Becker. Camille. My mom's middle name is Camille. That's why I'm saying it that way.
Oh, wow.
Camille Becker says, do you still do axe throwing, Navene?
I don't, but I still have the axe. And after that point, I got the matching knife made by the same company.
Yeah, and the reason that... How do you say it? Camille?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Camille, the reason that Camille is saying this is because Navene has an infamous axe throwing video up on the internet that has an insane amount of views for an axe throwing video.
Was filmed on Switch. Is that what they're called? Flip video.
Yeah.
Before cell phones all had cameras and completely put that company out of business. And it's so old. Like, I have long hair. I'm like, I probably weigh like 140 pounds.
It was way before we dated.
Dude, it was like, it's funny.
Years ago.
I think it was before I was even in animals. Like way before.
Wow.
It was like my only video. It's like, oh, I got a YouTube. I'll put a video of me throwing this axe. That'd be funny.
And you killed it. What'd you do? Like hit an apple off of a person's head or something?
No, but I did do that. And that one wasn't even on.
Off of the person's head?
No, I put an apple on the board and threw the axe. Okay. It took like 100 tries, but I did do it eventually.
Don't give away the secrets, Navene. You looked cool and like a professional axe thrower until you just said that.
Our friend owns a knife store, Weeby Knives, in San Francisco on the pier. And so he would get me deals on knives and stuff like that for my birthday and whatnot. That's awesome. So pretty cool. Okay, we're down to the last question, and then Chaney and I can go eat our Indian feast that we have waiting for us. We've been on a cooking binge.
Yeah, the other day I made homemade pierogies from fucking scratch.
Chaney's Polish Kitchen.
And cabbage rolls. And tonight, Navene made paneer from scratch.
From scratch, baby.
Indian cheese he made from scratch.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty proud of it.
It tastes amazing.
So we're going to make something with that.
And then you've got some kitchery.
Got kitchery. And for those who don't know what kitchery is, it's lentils and rice and spices made together. And it's very, it's like in between a soup and rice.
It's like a porridge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then we'll heat up some tortillas.
Yeah, but on Sunday we're gonna do like an insane Indian feast. And that's why Navene made the paneer today, because we're testing for that.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure it was gonna be okay.
Yeah, and then we're gonna make like homemade. I'm gonna make homemade naan and samosa. You're gonna make paneer and some like
rice.
We have a huge mint bush in our backyard, so we're gonna make mint chutney and hopefully tamarind chutney.
I tried to make some mint chutney today, and it's like so fiery because I put a little bit of some jalapeno in there, but I guess I didn't take the seeds out, so it's like super spicy.
If I was going to be killed, what's that called? When you're like
executed?
Yeah. If I was facing execution, I would ask for a mostly Indian feast, I think.
Indian food's good.
A lot of Italian food too. Maybe a burger.
All right, let's hope that we never have to make that decision.
Well, we all die.
Julian McCarthy. How's it going, bro? How does it feel being completely DIY? How has it changed your lifestyle and the internal workings as a band now that booking promotion is all on you guys? How has the newfound freedom affected the band?
Yo.
Chaney, expand.
Well, let's be completely clear. We do not book our own band.
Right.
We have a booking agent. We have management. For promotion, we still have PR. We just are hiring people. It's things like what a label would normally do, like what we were talking about earlier. We're just doing that ourselves now. Yeah. So we're just being the monetary source.
Right. We're our own label, pretty much.
Yeah.
But honestly, not a whole lot's changed, really.
No.
I mean,
when you're on a label, you still do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, one of the things that I think people, going back to the question from earlier, people have this perception that you get on a label and then you don't have to do anything for yourself. But you have to do a lot of things for yourself because a label has 100 different bands that they're doing all of this stuff for. So they cover a lot of bases, and then you on your own have to cover a lot of bases. So stuff hasn't really changed for us very much. But we've only released one song. You know, we don't really know what the future holds. We don't know if we're going to continue to be independent forever, if we're going to sign to a label or...
It's not out of the question for us to go back on a label. I mean, Chaney and I have already talked about the pros of having other people there to help out with this, that, or the other thing. And we don't really know. Like she said, we've only done one song. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
So, yeah, that's where we're at. It's
like the plan is to do like at least one more song.
Yeah.
And then take it from there.
Then probably finish writing an album.
Yeah, and fortunately, we can just do all that stuff on our own, and whether we put out the album on our own or it comes out on a label, yet to be seen.
Yeah, and we can do all of that in quarantine as well, which is awesome. So yeah, not much has changed, and that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, Chaney, well, what do you think? You want to go get some food?
I'm starving. Let's go eat some kitchery and get this shit going.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, thanks for everybody tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. We're excited about this upcoming week.
Yeah, we can't wait for you guys to hear these guests. It's going to be great. Have a great week. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Alrighty, peace.